you don't know yourself, if you don't understand, I mean, you've even talked about this, like you've gone through a journey of getting to know yourself, and that not only helps you navigate the world, but also like be able to navigate yourself in the world. And so if people don't have that understanding and they're just on autopilot and they let things happen to them, and the world can be cruel, but it can be beautiful. It's all about how you look at it. And if you're going down this way of the cruel side, then those things are going to continue to happen. You're going to be looking for cruel things. But if you look on this side, then I'm not saying bad things still can't happen, but the way you perceive it and respond to it will affect further things.
Yes. You have a finite amount of attention, and not across time, but in this moment, you have a finite amount of attention, and then that moment across time is finite.
Which is crazy. That's a whole topic in itself. Like,
what I was going to say regarding what you just said.
No, keep going.
Is that, yes, if you are someone that constantly is focusing on what is going wrong, you're going to find more and more stuff about what's going wrong, what you don't like about this, what you don't like about that, what sucks about it, and that's going to be your world.
Right.
Is picking apart the world and finding all the things that bring you anxiety and make you sad and make you angry, bitter, all that.
Yeah.
And if you're someone you're constantly looking for solutions or trying to excavate for beauty, you're trying to find the things that you love and that expand you and that excite you and invigorate you, you're going to find more and more of that.
Right.
It's magnetic. And it's like, as someone into psychology, I'm sure you understand that process of like conscious and unconscious mind, where it's like the conscious is a little bit of yourself that you have some control and free will with. And if you start that practice, you might be someone who is very focused on problems right now. And the first part would be, and like in negative stuff, it might be someone who identifies as pessimistic or cynical. And if you can first recognize that and recognize that you don't want that for yourself or the people around you, you can start actively using your conscious mind to focus on what is good and what you have gratitude for around you. And then if you do that across time with your finite attention, the unconscious will start to pick up on that. And then you'll start doing that automatically.
Right.
And you'll feel like whole body like that's the new you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it takes time and practice.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's been, like over 5 years for me now of like recognizing that and then actively trying to like build better self-talk in my head. And I now feel like I'm at the point where more than 50% of me, like I've hit a tipping point where I'm like, okay, I'm mostly like thinking positively and productively.
Good.
But of course I still have that little voice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can usually check it, step back.
Like, okay. And that's another thing too, is like, I think that there's a sense of like toxic positivity sometimes too, where it's like, oh, everything's fine. Like it's great. Like, but I think it's important to recognize the other, kind of like bringing it full circle to like that shadow self, that side that isn't, that we try to suppress and stuff, to recognize it and feel whatever you're feeling, but then to like release it. Because the more, if you're just constantly like, anytime you feel bad or anytime you're upset about something, just being like, oh no, I need to be happy, I need to be, positive, then it stores in your body physically. And if you don't, like, the only way out is through, right? So it's like you have to deal with it in some way, whether that's like in meditation or, through physical activity or, these different outlets that we're given, which is kind of crazy how we can heal ourselves, but you have to take that time to actually do it. But better so just through living life, being able to feel your emotions and then come back to center, and that center be what you've trained yourself to be, in that state of gratitude. And anyway.
Yeah. That's another thing I've thought about recently, is like, how much more in touch I am with my emotions now. And like, one, how mysterious and difficult to grasp emotions are just in general.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing. Maybe, yeah, it's almost synonymous with digging into the unconscious self. You can never fully know the unconscious self. But emotions like that are very elusive. But you can, the more you put attention on them and like track your patterns.
Yeah.
And like pay attention to what makes you feel what way.
Right.
And rather than being afraid of your emotions, getting curious about them. And I don't know. It's a weird domain.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I have so much to learn there, but I also feel like I've made a lot of progress that that was sort of what the recent thought was like, huh. I remember when I first was like super confused about this subject, and now like I feel like I got a driving grasp on it to some degree.
Right. And it's like even everything that we just said like is just the super simplified version of it.
Yes, absolutely.
And and then it's like the more you're in it, the more you realize like how much there is still to do, but then it's like it is important to like you said, like look how far you've come, but then it's like the deeper you get, the deeper you realize it is.
Don't think you're done.
No.
Ever.
No, I guess that's the point of it though. I don't know.